Hey, good morning. Let me give you something to just drop inside of you today to get you thinking throughout this day. As we do these daily devotions, there's things that just kind of stand out to me and things that God just speaks to me in the mornings or the day before, and I just feel like I should share it, and so I do that a lot of times with these devotions. Every single person that has been a believer for any kind of length of time, you've heard the Lord's Prayer, and that's the prayer that Jesus prays and he shares with the disciples when they ask him, Jesus, when we pray, how should we pray? And then Jesus said, you pray like this. And he starts out that prayer as he's saying, Our Father which art in heaven. The first thing I want you to see about that is where our Father is. He's in heaven. So he clearly has a higher vantage point, has a greater understanding. He is not having a meeting with people here in the earth. He's not having meetings with religious leaders, political leaders, or anybody in that kind of sphere to get their advice or get their endpoint. That's what I mean by having a meeting. So he's in heaven, so he sees things far different than we see them. And then it goes into this part in that prayer where he says that you've got to pray that your will, talking about God's will, be done on earth as it already is in heaven. One of the most powerful things that God give you, has given every single person that's ever walked this earth, one of the greatest gifts that God has ever given is the power to have a will. It is something so powerful that anything that is possible can happen in your life because you will it to happen. Meaning that if, from the simplest things, from the most complex of things, if you desire to get up in the morning and eat chocolate cake for breakfast, your will allow you to eat chocolate cake for breakfast. That's something pretty simple. But then there is this power of the will that is connected to the Father. It's knowing what God sees. It's knowing what God is experiencing so that you can bring that into your earth realm. Case in point, in heaven, the Bible declares there's no sickness, there's no disease, there's no lack, there's no mourning, there's no crying, there's none of those things, none of those emotions that we experience here on earth. But is there a possibility that you can bring His will, which is that, and bring it into the earth? I truly believe that's possible because there is absolutely nothing that's impossible to those that believe. So today I want to ask you this question. Are you letting your will rule and govern your life? Or have you laid your will at the altar of the old life? And now that you're a new creation, you're walking day to day, asking the Father, what is your will to be done in my life here in the earth at this moment? What's your will for me as I go into this grocery store? What is your will for me as I go to work today? What is your will for me as I take this paycheck and I go to the bank? What is your will for me in every single thing? And at that moment, you're allowing heaven to come and invade your earth. That is the powerful ability that God's given us. It has given us the ability to have a will. Is your will still your will? Or is your will to see heaven into the earth? I hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.